and just tell them, man, I'm
Question is second guessing whether or not I've got something to offer inside an eluded poverty. Or has the money watered me down? That truth is hard for me. Like the second time I got cut from the junior varsity. Fighting back tears, I promise to switch gears and said to myself, whatever you do, you won't do it partially.
What up?
From this day forward, I move with a new
Get this ball rolling. Okay, as people know, I technically did my first live stream. Yeah, you know what I want to do right now. And this was the reason 3 days ago. Today is Friday, Tuesday. Tuesday was my technically my first YouTube live. Now, the reason I say technically, my very first video podcast after I got on YouTube was on April 5th. Interesting enough, it was on April 5th, and then my last live stream was on October 5th. So you're talking about literally exactly 4.5 years later. Exactly. I don't care what anybody tries to tell you. The first video podcast I ever did on YouTube to let a woman know was on April that you want to have casual sex, even if you happen to use R-rated, X-rated, or triple X-rated video quality. That is not illegal. It's so horrible. You could not go to jail. You think the video quality you just saw in that previous live stream today, if you're doing it with a Streamlabs OBS, was horrible. You could potentially be fired from your job. It was horrible. For letting a woman know in real straightforwardly, honest terms that you want to. I'm gonna have to learn how to use Streamlabs OBS. So for people who say you might lose your job being Mo 1, and more particularly Mo 1 Hardcore, that's the valid. Yeah, that was my one other attempt. Yeah, the Me Too movement probably wasn't too bad. I went back and listened to it. Legal, like going to prison or going to jail, that is 2017 bullshit. It's straight bullshit. Was, and if you want to disagree with me, but it was decent. The video quality was horrible. If you think you got a legitimate disagreement, give me some documented proof to do it. Letting a woman know you want to have casual sex with is illegal. Man, I done said some of the most triple X-rated shit to women that any man who's ever as my Patreon subscriber. No, I've ever said to a woman, and I ain't never gotten arrested for live streams through a platform called Crowdcast. When I was young, I haven't done it so much in my older years. But when I was in my 20s and 30s, a lot of times my mid to late June of 2017 was mid to late June of 2017 was when I first started doing. First I was Patreon exclusive live streams, and I do an average of 2 per month. And I would be like, I can't wait every month for my Patreon subscribers. I do one Patreon exclusive live stream for my $5 subscribers and literally my $5 and up, and then I do a second Patreon exclusive live stream for my I would say back in the mid to late 80s and up. And pretty much the entire 90s and even the early 2000s with a lot of women. That was my opener, man. That was my Mo 1 Hardcore opener. I see a super chat. See, that's why I wanted to use the Streamlabs saying, yo, I always challenge guys. Name on the screen. Entertainment. That's what I'm going to find a way to do. Politicians highlight or prominent businessman that get targeted by the media just for letting a woman know. I appreciate it. You know, that's the only thing he did. Tuesday was my first time ever receiving. That's the only thing he did. Super chat earnings. Ever. Not including co-workers and business. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why a lot of my followers, supporters, and just other content creators, I'm the last 2 or 3 years, but like, Alan, man, why don't you live stream, co-workers? You leaving money on the table. I had so many people tell me that. If you do that, primarily a lot of my loyal Hardcore is a woman that's a co-worker, and then a few other content creators. They were like, dude, and just general you leaving money on the table by not live stream. I know you like to do your Patreon, you could lose your job deal, but so I've never argued that. But you leaving money on the table, some guys will try to get impression that if you're Mo 1 Hardcore with a woman like said a lot of this live stream we're going to talk about why I haven't done live streams up until now and what I plan on doing straight bullshit in the future. Basically, it's like this. Again, I'm almost simultaneously a veteran at streaming, this guy, and a novice at streaming. I'm a novice, young brother who was doing specifically at streaming here on YouTube. Alan Roger here on YouTube has been accused of offering advice that's only be my
And he said,
third
for the most part,
live stream ever.
he said, I disagree
on
with
YouTube.
He said, I think Alan gives
This is really, in terms
rock
of
solid
good,
advice,
good video quality and good audio quality.
and I particularly
Really,
love
this is my
Possibility of Sex and the Beta Male Revolution. He said, I really love those two books more than his other books.
talks a lot. Get it close to my
But then he said, here's the one thing, though, that I do have to say.
technically, this is only my second live stream on YouTube. Now again,
Here's
I just
one
mentioned
thing that ARC does say.
I've been doing live streams through Crowdcast for my Patreon subscribers
Out
since late June, early July
and he said,
of 2017. And it's different.
okay.
See,
All right, I see. I'm starting to get some trolls.
I'll openly, you know me, I like to get you real. Here's one of the reasons why I've hesitated
This guy, this
to
dude
do
got the-
live streams here on YouTube. If you caught my last live stream, which a lot of you guys
Renzo
did,
Davis, he got to go.
you
So
know
moderators,
that
if you
at
see
the
people
end,
make
quite
comments
a few
like
people
that, man,
noticed.
I'm tired
At the very,
See,
very,
that-
very end, as
I
I was
started
wrapping
this live
up,
stream saying one of the reasons I was reluctant to do live
I
streams
actually
here on
got
YouTube
emotion.
is people coming in
I got
hating
choked
on me or just if not flat out hating.
And that
making
feeds
stupid
into a lot of
comments.
people saying, you know,
This dude,
ARC,
Lorenzo
man, he's
Davis,
so
talking
emotional,
about
man. He's so
ARC,
emotional. Now, other
you,
people will rephrase that and say, no, Alan's actually very
you can
passionate.
get away with more one
I would
because
say
you got
both
that
are
pretty
probably
privilege,
true.
man. I don't
I'm
want to hear
very
that shit, man.
passionate
That goofy ass
about
shit.
what I do
Get
as
out
a
of here
book
with that
author and a
goofy
dating
ass shit.
coach.
You want to say
But
that in somebody else's
I have my
channel? and
moments,
their
but
live stream?
like I remember one YouTube video off the top of my head where I remember getting emotional. I would say more so unexpectedly emotional. I was doing a video and I happened to bring up my father.
That was one of the comments from that guy.
And yeah, I was talking about the great relationship I had with our father. And it's funny, I think most of y'all, both men and women, can relate to this. If you're talking about something like sentimental, now there's some people that just never get emotional about anything. If their favorite dog died, they just don't get emotional. Their mother, father died, they don't get emotional. There's some people like that. Now, I have to point out, not all the time, but sometimes if you never get emotional on anything, that could mean you're like a sociopath. That's one characteristic of a sociopath. Sociopaths don't get emotional over anything. Like their mother could die, they don't get emotional. Their father could die, they don't get emotional. One of their siblings could die, they don't get emotional. Their wife could die, they don't get emotional. That's one of the characteristics of being a sociopath. I'm not saying everybody who doesn't get emotional is a sociopath, but there's a good percentage that are. Anyway, one of the reasons I got emotional at the end of the live stream on Tuesday is kind of correlated to why I haven't really done live streams up to this point. If anybody's been following me for ever since I got on YouTube, man, I've never gotten this much haterade from other people, more particularly men, in my entire career as a book author and dating coach. Not to say that I didn't get any haterade at all before I came to YouTube. Surely I did. I got a certain small percentage of haterade going back as far back as 1989, 2000, 2001. Like, I give you an example. I was a host for a show on Blog Talk Radio, an audio podcast show called Upfront and Straightforward with Alan Roger Curry. I hosted that show from June of 2007 until early to mid-June of 2016. So you're talking about 9 years. I was on Blog Talk Radio, man. I hardly ever, and you're talking about over a 9-year period, man, I hardly ever dealt with haters, man. And anybody, if you're in my chat room and you've been following me since my Blog Talk Radio days, I want you to put BTR in the chat room. Put the letters BTR in the chat room. If you were familiar with me starting with my Blog Talk Radio days, put BTR. Okay, I see 7 gentlemen. Yeah, put the letters BTR. Man, in my 9 years at Blog Talk Radio, man, I think only maybe percentage-wise, maybe only 1 to 2% of the time that I deal with any like serious haters. Most of the people who listen to my show on Blog Talk Radio, they gave me nothing but love, kudos, and respect. And that's what I was used to, man. I'm used to, honestly, you can say I got spoiled, but I'm used to like no less than 95% of the people that follow me showing me nothing but love, kudos, and respect. I'm not used to all these like fucking haters and harsh critics that I've dealt with here on YouTube, man. I mean, this shit's ridiculous, man. I mean, just real talk. Like anytime I'm going on somebody else's live stream, at least 40 to 50% of the people in the chat room are people hating on me, criticizing me, insulting me, hating on me, saying Mo One ain't shit and all this, Alright Curry ain't shit and all this stuff. And I know when you do what I do, you gotta have thick skin. I'm not naive about that. I'm not, I know anytime you're working in a capacity where you're pretty much a public figure, you have to develop thick skin. I remember Michael Jackson talked about that years ago. He said in order to be a popular entertainer, you have to have the skin of a rhinoceros. That's what he said. You have to have the skin of a rhinoceros because you're going to get hated on so much. But yeah, before coming to YouTube, man, I wasn't used to this type of haterade, man. So anyway, as that relates to live streaming, when I witnessed what I saw on other people's live streams, people just getting hated on all the time, I was like, man, fuck, I ain't doing no public live stream. I remember I made a decision back around spring, summer of 2017. I just basically said, I'm not doing any public live stream. I'm willing.
Questioning, second guessing whether or not I've got something to offer inside an eluded poverty, or has the money watered me down? That truth is hard for me. Like the second time I got cut from the junior varsity, fighting back tears, I promised to switch gears and said to myself, whatever you do, you won't do it partially.
What up?
From this day forward, I move with a new
Get this ball rolling. Okay, as people know, I technically did my first live stream 3 days ago. Today is Friday, Tuesday was technically my first YouTube live. Now, the reason I say technically, my very first video podcast after I got on YouTube was on April 5th. Interesting enough, it was on April 5th, and then my last live stream was on October 5th. So you're talking about literally exactly 4.5 years later. Exactly 4.5 years later. Yeah, the first video podcast I ever did on YouTube was on April 5th of 2017. But the video quality was so horrible. You think the video quality you just saw in that previous live stream today when I was trying to use Streamlabs OBS was horrible. Oh man, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to use Streamlabs OBS because I can't fuck with that right now. Yeah, that was my one other attempt. Yeah, the audio quality wasn't too bad. I went back and listened to it for that April 5th, 2017 live stream. The audio quality was decent. It wasn't great, but it was decent. But the video quality was horrible. The video quality was horrible. And that's what made me turn to doing pre-recorded, uploaded videos here on YouTube. Now, as my Patreon subscribers know, I've been doing live streams through a platform called Crowdcast. Since mid to late June of 2017. Mid to late June of 2017 was when I first started doing Patreon exclusive live streams. And I do an average of 2 per month, every month, for my Patreon subscribers. I do 1 Patreon exclusive live stream for my $5 subscribers and up, $5 and up. And then I do a second Patreon exclusive live stream for my $10 subscribers and up. My $10 and up. Oh, I see a super chat. See, that's why I wanted to use the Streamlabs OBS, is because somebody told me it gives you a way to highlight the super chat on the screen. That's what I want to find a way to do, is highlight. But I still haven't found out how to do that. But I appreciate it to it. You know, Tuesday was my first time ever receiving super chat earnings, ever. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why a lot of my followers, supporters, and just other content creators for the last 2 or 3 years been like, Alan, man, why don't you live stream, man? You leaving money on the table. I had so many people tell me that. Primarily a lot of my loyal followers and supporters, and then a few other content creators. They was like, dude, you're leaving money on the table by not live stream. I know you like to do your Patreon exclusive deal, but you leaving money on the table, man. But a lot of this live stream is going to talk about why I haven't done live streams up until now and what I plan on doing in the future. Basically, it's like this. Again, I'm almost simultaneously a veteran at streaming and a novice at streaming. I'm a novice specifically at streaming here on YouTube. Here on YouTube, I'm a novice. This will only be my 3rd live stream ever on YouTube. Technically, this is really, in terms of both good video quality and good audio quality, really, this is my, hold on a second. I'm adjusting my microphone. So I'll have talk so loud, get it closer to my mouth. Technically, this is only my 2nd live stream on YouTube. Now, again, I just mentioned, I've been doing live streams through Crowdcast for my Patreon subscribers since late June, early July of 2017. And it's different. See, here's been, I'll openly, you know me, I like to keep shit real. Here's one of the reasons why I've hesitated to do live streams here on YouTube. If you caught my last live stream, which a lot of you guys did, you'll notice that at the end, quite a few people noticed, at the very, very, very end, as I was wrapping up, I actually got emotional. I got choked up. And that feeds into a lot of people saying, you know, ARC, man, he's so emotional, man. He's so emotional. Now, other people will rephrase that and say, no, Alan's actually very passionate. I would say both are probably true. I'm very passionate about what I do as a book author and a dating coach, but I have my moments. Like, I remember one YouTube video off the top of my head where I remember getting emotional. I would say more so unexpectedly emotional. I was doing a video and I happened to bring up my father. And yeah, I was talking about the great relationship I had with our father. And it's funny, I think most of y'all, both men and women, can relate to this. If you're talking about something like sentimental, now there's some people that just never get emotional about anything. If their favorite dog died, they just don't get emotional. If their mother, father died, they don't get emotional. There's some people like that. Now, I have to point out, not all the time, but sometimes if you never get emotional on anything, that could mean you're like a sociopath. That's one characteristic of a sociopath. Sociopaths don't get emotional over anything. Like their mother could die, they don't get emotional. Their father could die, they don't get emotional. One of their siblings could die, they don't get emotional. Their wife could die, they don't get emotional. That's one of the characteristics of being a sociopath. I'm not saying everybody who doesn't get emotional is a sociopath, but there's a good percentage that are. Anyway, one of the reasons I got emotional at the end of the live stream on Tuesday